Hey everyone, and welcome to my channel. Welcome back if you are a regular here. This is the continuation of the Idaho 4 series of readings, and today I'm taking a second look at Ethan Chapin. So I will be looking at each of them again for the second time, but this time it's the turn of Ethan, and we're just going to see what else we can pick up since the first time I did a reading on him, specifically on him, which was probably around this time last year. But so this is a psychic reading. I use oracle cards and I use tarot cards, and occasionally I get messages from spirit. I interpret these messages in my own way, and they're open to your own interpretation. I'm not claiming any of this to be factual. It is for entertainment purposes only. So let's get going. We're not using the Clarifying Life Situations deck because we've already done that. We've had the introduction. So I'm actually going to start with the vocab deck. Okay. I'm hoping I might be able to connect with him, but we'll see. They've all been quite quiet lately, to be honest, even Kaylee. But I think that is just a... it's probably to do with her journey. So, you know, I'm not worried about it at all. I know that if I call on her, I would probably be able to connect with her, so I'm not worried. But I'll see if I can get Ethan to come through. So we have rural, cascade, and scowl. First three cards. So scowl. The cat's angry scowl told me it was a bad idea to try to stroke her. And it means glare or glower, an angry look or expression. So was this someone, maybe this was one of his last memories of someone who had that look. We've also got cascade, which means water cascaded over the rocks and into the frothy pools. It means plunge, crash, or gush. To pour downwards in large amounts. A cascade of water crashed into the river below. It can mean waterfall, torrent, or deluge. It can also mean a small waterfall, usually one that falls down a steep slope with rocks. Cascade. I mean, it's as graphic as this sounds, I feel like this is something to do with a cascade of red liquid. But we'll see. The next card is rural. We were enraptured by our beautiful rural surroundings. It means bucolic, pastoral, agricultural and provincial, relating to the countryside rather than a town. It's interesting because when I had a channeling session with Kaylee, I don't know which one it was, and it was Ethan I was actually channeling at the time, who told me about the guy who had captured him, was very well off, also very well known, but lived on a ranch or owned a ranch. So I don't know if it's a clue towards that. But let's continue. So the next deck I'm using is the Black Rose Oracle. So we've got tether. It says telepathy, intuition, dreams, heart songs. Now to me that tether is about being tied up. And then we've got pain. Guarded, apprehensive, putting a wall, excruciating pain. I mean, to me this means that this wasn't just someone simply coming into the house, wasn't even in the house, keep saying it, he was not unalived in the house. It wasn't just a quick one and done, it was a matter of being tortured. As far as I'm concerned, that's what these cards are saying. It feels like he was tied up and systematically tortured in some way. It's really interesting that the police had to mention, actually maybe it wasn't the police, I'll take that back, it might have just been mentioned on the documentary that all turned out to be absolutely a load of rubbish, about the perpetrator, or Brian Kober, who apparently sat on a chair after having unalived Ethan. I don't know why they decided to mention a chair. It's weird, I don't know why, but I think there is something significant about that chair, if there is a chair. I don't know why I keep seeing a wooden chair. I keep seeing a wooden chair for some reason, or not a upholstered chair, just a basic chair. And I keep seeing Ethan tied to it. So next we are going to look at the Revelation Oracle deck. I feel like this is a lot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, I'm going to take 4 and then we'll see if we can get through the rest at the end of the reading. So let me just kind of randomly select 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I can't lay him down, can I? Okay, so the first card is Wonder. The second card is Exquisite. I know what this is about. Reassuring. And flourishing. All really like positive cards. But I do feel like the exquisite is probably a nod towards the rugs that he was given or he was on at some point that night. The rest of it feels like it feels very much like his journey to the other side. And those are all very positive, if that is the case. But I might be wrong. I want him to come through and connect with me to tell me what this is about. I mean, you just look at that card. It's just very symbolic of passing. Flourishing. Let's carry on. So the next deck is the surely I can remember what it's called. Soul something. Echoes. Oh, sorry, I can never remember. And most decks have the name of the deck printed on the back side, but this doesn't. So it's Echoes of the Soul. No, not again. Come on, Ethan. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we've got Veil of Silence. Echoes of Solitude. The Maverick. And Red Room Reverie. I mean, this is definitely indicating someone who, or maybe more than one person, who is just keeping silent. They're not divulging, they're not sharing, they're not budging. They know what's going on. They're never ever gonna confess or share the information they have. Because it's a veil, I think it's more than one person, and it's probably the people in the university, I would have thought. Echoes of Solitude. The Maverick is pointing to someone who's the main culprit, the person that organised it, or, you know, the origin of this whole thing, whoever that is. And the Red Room Reverie is something to do with where he was when he was attacked and unalived. So I'm going to put those to one side as well. And then the last deck is What Lies Beneath. Wow, so we've got bank failure. It's almost as if, I mean, when you look at bank failure, I'm not looking at the failure of a bank here, I'm looking at the failure of a bank transaction. It almost makes me feel like Ethan's passing could have been prevented if a transaction had gone through. Which is interesting. I just don't know. And then I've got tired of drama. I don't know who this is about. It's not about Ethan, it's about someone else. And for some reason I feel like it's someone in his family who didn't take something seriously and just was that kind of energy of, oh, I'm just so tired of this, I'm tired of this drama, like, you know, don't stop pandering to them, ignore them, as if they were being blackmailed or extorted or something. I don't know. So I've now got Ethan coming through and he's just said, yep, and it's someone closer than you think. And he means closer to his family, not closer to me. Obviously, thank God. So someone was blackmailing his family, someone close to them, or someone they knew well. Wow. Okay, so we're going to do the tarot. And I'm going to do the Everyday Witch Tarot. So Rural, Cascade and Scowl. So this is someone, basically what I'm being shown here is one of his last memories was this person's face with the scowl on the face. But it seems to be that he's trying to show me where this person lived, and it was somewhere rural. And quite possibly they could have lived near a waterfall or some kind of cascade of water. This is like a clue I'm being given. And this feels like the maverick, the person that is responsible for this, or responsible for Ethan. Because, again, I don't think this was the whole thing. All 4 people were unalived under the orders of one particular person. I think there's more than one thing going on here. Clarified by the 6 of Swords in reverse and the 5 of Cups. It feels like his family knew who this person was. Not that they knew, I'm not saying they knew who it was that unalived Ethan, though that's possible as well. But before this happened, they were aware of this person. And the 6 of Swords in reverse just makes me feel like an ongoing something that was keeping them in a state of turmoil or turbulence. And then we've got Tether. Sorry, the other card, no, there isn't one. Forget what I said. Tether, which is, I feel like, is a nod to Ethan being restrained. Clarified by the Hierophant and the Devil. I mean, again, the Hierophant, I always give that to I have specifically given it to law enforcement in my readings. The devil is someone else. I mean, surely the law enforcement weren't working alongside someone else and they were involved in restraining Ethan. I'm getting jumbled flashes that I'm trying to decipher. Oh my God. So what he's showing me is wherever he was at the time of his torture, unaliving, attack, the police actually knocked on the door of this particular, because there'd been a noise disturbance. Whoever this person was, whoever I've been given the devil card for, come on. The police knew this person quite well, and had quite a lot of respect for them. I don't know why, but they did. So they kind of just dismissed it. The person answered the door and just made an excuse of some kind, said that, sorry, they were getting a bit rowdy, you know, Saturday night, the party was getting a bit out of control, and they would calm it down. So literally that's showing me that someone knocked on the door. Whoever these policemen were not involved in what happened elsewhere or later on. It was just a, you know, yeah, they were doing their job, literally doing their job. Pain, clarified by the Hanged Man reversed and the Four of Swords. So I'm getting being asphyxiated. But again, who did I say? It said this about someone else as well. Someone being asphyxiated, but not to the point of passing out. The Four of Swords is representing 4 injuries. Even though there were more, I'm being shown 4. I don't know why I'm only being shown 4, but there were more, but there was 4 probably major injuries. Then we have wonder. The Tower reversed. Oh, and the Lovers. It feels like at some point he thought he had survived this. It's like Because I do feel like he was taken from that place. No. Okay, he wasn't taken from that place. But at some point I feel like, well, it stopped. There was like a break, if you like. And he just assumed that that was it, that he was being taught a lesson, that was it was done. But the Lovers is about Xana being brought to him. So wherever Xana had been, and I don't know, hopefully when I do her reading I'll find out more, but Xana was brought to him, to the place he was at, and then I feel like they were both unalived together, or one was made to watch the other. So then we've got flourishing. Clarified by the Five of Wands. And the Eight of Swords. Five of Wands is 5 people. And I don't know if this is 5 people including Ethan and Xana, or if this is Ethan, Xana and 5 other people. And then the Eight of Swords is being trapped. They had nowhere to go. There's nothing they could do. I mean, you just have to look at it. If anyone doesn't know what the Eight of Swords looks like, it's someone who is bound and blindfolded and, yeah. And then the reassuring card. Oh God, it's like, again, this is like there's mental torture here as well, because what I'm getting is every now and again someone saying to him, stop panicking, everything's going to be all right, stop worrying, you're going to be okay. You just, you know, take your punishment. It's like that. Someone constantly reassuring him, which was gaslighting. And then the King of Swords and the Queen of Swords. So again, I'm getting female energy with the male energy. So whoever this, and this may not be the, you know, the origin, the head, whoever was responsible for this, because I don't think he was actually involved in the actual in actually doing it. I think he just gave orders probably. But this guy who was definitely actively involved was working with the female. There's a couple here. Now I could automatically jump to, was it, I wouldn't really call them a couple, but you think, oh okay, so was it Demetrius and Emma? I don't think it was. This is someone that had much more authority in the criminal world. And I don't know why, I've always seen like the female had more, it's like the female seemed to be even higher, had more, demanded more respect than the male even, which is weird. I still don't know who this person is, but I'm hoping one day I'll find out. Exquisite. Clarified by the Eight of Wands reversed and the Chariot. He's showing me something that felt like everything suddenly feeling like it was going in slow motion. And I don't know if this is his moment of actually passing. But there is something here where he was aware, not because he was still alive, but he was aware after his passing of being in a car, transported in a car, which I would assume was to take him back to 1122. And then the veil of silence. Clarified by justice. And the and the Two of Pentacles. So this veil of silence just is spreading far and wide, or it has spread far and wide. It's not just about the, sorry guys, it's not just about the, oh, what the hell? It's not just about the people that are involved. It's also about members of law enforcement. It's members on the side of the law, legal side. Yeah. And then we have tired of drama, bank failure. Tired of drama, Ten of Cups reversed. Again, someone in his family. This is about someone in his family that was just tired of the drama before this happened. They weren't taking the warning signs seriously. Bank failure. Something to do with a failed transaction. Like they were meant to be paying someone some money or paying back some money or something, and that transaction failed. And what they thought was an empty threat ended up being carried out. And it's clarified by the Ten of Wands. Which is the burden that really is just about the burden they carry now, or whoever this member of the family is carries for not heeding the warning in the first place. And then echoes of solitude. Clarified by the Three of Cups. It's like he's showing me, one thing he's having difficulty understanding is how quickly the people he thought he were friends, or the people he called friends, or even, I mean, you could include relatives in this, how quickly they seem to move on. You know, how quickly they went from being in a state of mourning to being like this, back to the party. The Red Room Reverie, which is where his life was yeah. Clarified by Temperance. So this could indicate that the person that lived at that property, and even though the person that lived at that property was involved, it doesn't mean that they were the main perpetrator. It's like they used this person's property as, you know, for the purpose of. He could be a Sagittarius, okay? I'm just saying it might not be. It might be his rising sign. And then we have Maverick. The Maverick, clarified by the Knight of Wands reversed. Six of Cups reversed. Wow. So this is someone that's involved, or the person that was, like I said, it feels like the person that was responsible for this. Is it the person at the top of the chain, Ethan, or is this someone else? Because it's showing me someone that they've known for a long, long time. It's someone that Ethan knew as a child. And the family knew for many years. It's not the top of the chain, is what he's saying. It's like not the CEO, but the chairman, if that makes sense. Knight of Wands reversed. So this could be a fire sign. Could be a fire sign. Sagittarius, Aries, Leo. Someone who is very quick to anger. And very impulsive, spontaneous. Very little conscience, if any conscience, no conscience. So guys, I'm just going to run through these extra cards. I'm not going to clarify them because there's too many. So we're starting with the Revelation Oracle, and it says, beneath the surface, unleashed, transition, questions. He's really trying to tell me something here. Power. And destiny. So someone pointed out the last time this card came out about the 3 darts and the target, which is very interesting and also absolutely right that I didn't pick that up the first time, is that this is about, I mean, I did pick up the fact that it's about a target, but the 3 darts could indicate the 3 other people. But, so what's he telling me here? Beneath the surface. So either he's saying you need to look deeper, or something's buried, literally. It could also be something is hidden in water, because this is showing water on the card. Unleashed. So this card transition is about his transition, and the fact, and it's probably the same for all of them, is that they can't transition because they still have questions. They still don't know. Everyone keeps asking me, why can't you just tell us who did it? You know, why can't the people who passed just tell us who did it? For one, there will be people like Kaylee actually doesn't know. She doesn't know her perpetrator. She didn't get to see his face. And 2, anyone who does know, they have a duty of care towards me, to protect me. So they're not just going to randomly blurt out someone's name. I don't know if it makes sense, but there is an energy of protection here. And it could also be that even if they saw someone's face, or they were aware of, you know, I'm sure Ethan knew the people that were, maybe he didn't. Maybe he saw the faces of the people that were attacking him, but did he know their names? Maybe he didn't. You know, there's so many different reasons why. There's so many different possibilities, because people are just assuming that the person that attacked them or unalived them, they must have known them and must have had their names. No, not necessarily. They may not have ever seen them before, or knew their names, or knew who they were. But that's why there's still so many questions. Ethan still has so many questions, and I'm sure the other 3 do too, about what happened and why it happened and who they were. The power is, I mean, the power and unleashed, I think, is the 2 cards are meant to go together. Because this feels like the kind of thing where there's been a build-up to something, and there's been warnings, and those warnings either haven't been taken seriously, or they never thought, whoever's, you know, these families never thought in a million years this would actually happen. So that's those ones. And then this deck is the Echoes of the Soul. We've got Veil of Crows. The Crimson Door. I wonder if there's someone has a red door. If anyone knows of any properties, not that you're going to, probably very unlikely, that had been brought up in the documents, any addresses, you're not going to see addresses, of course you're not, they're going to be redacted, but someone had a red door. Now that might not be their front door, but it could well be their front door, but that's a clue to put possibly the place he was when he was tortured. The Glamorous Veil. Again, I'm getting this female who is definitely involved, who maybe she was well turned out, and you know, she didn't look like Molly McMichaels, put it that way. And then the Quiet Story. Look at that picture. It almost looks like him from behind in that room on the chair. You can imagine if he was tied up. Maybe he was being, before it started, maybe he was being questioned. Gosh, that really does look like him, you know. If you can see. So yeah, that was a tough one. But more information. But as always, guys, thank you so much. Thank you for all of your support and your comments and your help with these readings. It really means so much to me, and I do put all your comments to good use, I promise. So thank you until next time. Thank you for your love, your support, your encouragement and your engagement that I return to you tenfold. If you do want to book a reading, the link is in the description below. Until next time, enjoy the journey.